Good afternoon, guys and girls. Today we're going to be taking a look at on site here. Going to be looking at where these effigies are falling out of the ground at. And we're just going to kind of walk through this dried up creek bed. I like taking these videos because afterwards I watch them as well. And I can spot some things that I didn't see before. So take a close look at a lot of these. There, you'll notice that all of them have likenesses of faces on them. That's because, as we've said before, this is some type of effigy site. This is a site that is just being developed. As you guys know, in a lot of places, there's a lot of housing development going on, especially on the outskirts of cities, because of the housing crisis that we're having. The government has seemed to have failed us, and it's not really taking care of the way that everything's progressing. We got a lot of have and have-nots. The divide is getting bigger and bigger by the day. And, I'm not an anti-government person. I'm a 40-year-old veteran. I was part of the group that joined after September 11th. I'm actually very patriotic. I love this country. But whenever I found all these, reaching out to the archaeologists and letting them know, like, hey, there's something going on here, they refused to even come out. After I found the wooden bow, after I found the flat-topped mound, after I found the photorealistic picture of a person on a stone, they still deny it, and they refuse to come even visit. So I know, being an archaeologist, I don't know if you guys know this, but most archaeologists get paid about $21 an hour. Their living conditions are horrible. And unless you're in the upper echelon, you're not making any money. And the people who are answering my emails are, of course, the senior level. Apparently, this is a story as old as time. We've been destroying these mounds here in Alamance County for a long time. There's several that have already been destroyed. But, nothing can be done about it. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right to destroy our human history. And I think that if someone comes out and says, hey, there's a lot of very oddly shaped stones out here with profile images of people on them, every single one, it should at least warrant a visit. But it doesn't. And that's upsetting to me. You guys see these? You guys see these carved in eyes, even the eyelashes in there. So there's something going on out here. This is our history, and archaeologists are supposed to be the ones protecting our history, but they're not. I don't think this is a conspiracy theory. I don't think that they know the extent of this art as well as some of us do, because they don't leave their desks. Dr. Vince Stephanopoulos of UNC Archeology, University of North Carolina, denies this. David Cranford, who is our assistant to the state archaeologist, denies this, despite all this evidence that I've shown. So this river has been flooded out a few times because of the construction. These creeks, according to local landowners, never had any rocks in them before, not very many anyway. These have all been washed out, as well as these trees have been washed out because of the flooding that's taken place, because they poorly managed the construction. So I just kind of want to give you guys a peek at some of this, and we're going to take a little walk up here. That's something. This whole tree just tipped over. So there's different spots for different lithics. You can see a lot of them here just in the ground. There's going to be a bunch more down there. They were burying these effigies here at this site. This is some type of spiritual, holy place, some place where people traveled to. And I know that because of the lithics that are found here, the different types of stone that are found here. They are not from the Piedmont region, which is where Alamance County resides. It doesn't take a archaeologist to understand and learn about places like Cahokia and Poverty Point, where they have stones that are specifically from the Piedmont region, which is an isolated area in the middle of Tennessee. We have the coastal, we have the Piedmont, and then we have further west, more near the mountains there. So the stones that are found in the Piedmont region are found artifacts made from these stones are found at that location in Illinois. So we know that these people traveled here. This is the recessed face, long headdress version. With some of these, we'll be able to see some of the clay packs and things. You'll see several birds. And these likenesses of humans as well. A lot of cardinals. Most of these are cardinals. If you can see this eye right here. Try to get it a little wet for us there. You can see how it's a circle. This is a cardinal beak. If you are familiar, again, to bring up Cahokia, their main, right when you walk in the door there at the museum, their Cahokia Birdman tablet that's on display. First thing you see when you walk in is half bird, half man. That is the style of the Mississippian culture, is what we've been calling them. We know that they carved rocks. We know that they made tools. Well, they also made art with this. And that's what I'm here down here in this muddy creek bed to show you. There's a megalithic statues pile that is still existing, as far as I know, here at the site as well. And today we're just going to see if we can find anything very defined, because this is a learned art style. It doesn't just jump right out at you. It took me a while to understand and wrap my head around it as well. This is the plate style. The video I made earlier about this type of style. Many of them are plates. Some of these may be old tools that were carved into effigies. Mostly birds and humans. There are other things as well, but what I am good at seeing are the birds and the humans. That's what the majority of these things are out here. So we're going to take a little walk down this creek, a little further than I've been before. Right now, we are in the middle of the construction site. take a look over here and just see if we can find any very defined pieces. Large birds. Oh my. Big recessed face with an extremely tall headdress, and then you'll see a recessed beak and a little eye there. That will be the duck head. It's a very neat piece here. A very cool one. Going to be a lot of different things on this, and there's some good ones right here I can see all around me. So let's take a look here. Lots of good ones here. There's lots of good ones everywhere. Every single one of these is one. And that's what I'm down here to show you guys today. Recessed face, headdress. Remember, thousands of years old. They're not going to be pictures of Val Kilmer. It's not going to be like what you're used to seeing. These are the gods of the ancient religion. Perhaps religion is the wrong word. Maybe it's just human nature, human culture. That's what I believe. This stuff is everywhere, all over North America, Canada, throughout. There's wooden tools here. As I stated, a wooden bow was discovered, almost completely intact. Does not resemble a Native American bow, according to our state archaeologists. But again, my faith in them has diminished. There's spiders on me. This is a large duck head. All right, so you guys can tell at least stones don't just end up as in the shape of diamonds, you know. This is a effigy, a depiction of birds and humans in a stone. My shoes, this is what I'm doing. This is what I do for y'all. We're getting soaked. So I'm going to step out of this because it's getting a little deeper, and we'll come around to the top. You can see all these large pieces of white quartz. Learning a little bit more about rocks and how the white rocks are from the Arctic regions further up north. We've got a lot of those very white cherts here. This is how everything used to look. There were no lithics in this waterway prior to the construction, according to the local landowners. Not very many anyway. And since it's gotten flooded out a few times, all the artifacts have been washed out from the ground. This tree is going to probably get gone as well because of this. Poor planting. Continue along this creek. Thank you guys for joining me. Sorry about a little bit of an attitude. I'm just kind of disenchanted, you know. I thought that, I don't know. I guess I thought wrong. I thought that archaeologists were into history and actually preserving it, but it turns out there's a much different story here in America. After doing some research, I find out that they're pretty much the laughingstock of the world. And realizing that, hey, yeah, we live in a conquered country. I think most of their job is just to dismiss things. It pisses me off that they destroyed that suspected mound. It pisses me off that they wouldn't even come and visit. this area after I found all the evidence that I had found, including all the arrowheads and arrow points. And, you know, I showed them these face stones at first. I'm like, oh my gosh. Showed them the gateway piece with the photorealistic picture. It looks like a Polaroid, doesn't it? Of a human being on it with an arrow pointing at it. They wouldn't even visit. You know, and they just, you know, tell me to stop doing what I'm doing. Well, I have permission, written permission. I can do what I want to do. And I know where to go and where not to go. And I'm not going to do anything illegal. It's definitely not illegal to speak your mind. That's why... Whoa! Big old spider, sorry. I'm just clearing out all the spider webs here. I know that I'm okay to speak my mind. This is the country that has freedom of speech. A lot of my friends who I was in the military with fought for that right. You see all these bird heads and stuff. You guys know, if you don't know, you're sitting around for 16 minutes here watching me walk this creek bed. I'm an engineer. I worked for Tesla at a point in time when the Gigafactory was just opening up. I've worked launching Amazon facilities. That's what brought me here to Graham, North Carolina. I am a programmer, an industrial programmer, and now at 40 years old, I have gotten into higher levels of this job. When I was in the military, I was an Apache armament and electrical systems repair. So I worked on helicopters, attack helicopters. That requires a secret clearance. I ain't no dummy. And I'm not trying to brag either. And I don't need any money. I'm doing this because it's what's right. It's what's right. I've been doing what's right, trying to the best I can, just like all you guys, for most of my life, and I'm not about to stop now. You understand? It's when I see something like this happening where I take myself out of the situation and I think, what about other people who would discover something like this? How would they treat them? They can't treat me too badly. I'm a decorated combat veteran, member of the Horatio Alger Association, a Distinguished American Scholarship winner. They can't sling too much mud on me. But for somebody else, some of these older folks that are trying to expose this, you know, they can just dismiss them. They're not going to be able to just dismiss me. And they're not going to be able to dismiss us if we join together. I want to kind of squeeze through here with you guys. I hope you're having fun anyway. I'm kind of done bitching. I'm sorry. I am just a little bit fired up about it all, which is okay. But I don't need to give you guys the whole spiel here. Like I said, it's not my intention to brag whatsoever. I think that what's happening is wrong. There's another, you guys see this all the time on my channel, the same one, large headdress, recessed face. We can go ahead and look at some more here instead of just talking. Some people have already been pulling out some, looks like. Somebody else knows what's going on here too. I'm sure some people have seen the videos and have come down to check it out for themselves. This is a totem. This eye right up there, that's his hat. This is one of the archetypes. The ones that are on the side there, actually this spot looks familiar. That may have been me. So this is an area where I have collected before. You never know what you're going to find out here. As I've said, I never could expect that I was going to find a wooden bow. Like, that's insane, a wooden bow. Never would have expected it. Oh, that's a lot of mud. See all these spiders that I have to fend with? I don't know if you guys can see them just floating around up here, but there's a lot of them. I'm walking straight through this little river here. Again, same thing. Little head down there with the tall headdress, tall hat. I know you guys can't recognize it yet, but you will. At least you can see, and you'll start to believe how the eye, the nose, and the mouth is on every single one of these. You'll start to see this. I know you guys will. Because it took me a while to start seeing it too. Same exact thing here. See the tall headdress, left rock, recessed face inside there. You can see the eye, nose, maybe the mouth in here, but there's going to be another eye, nose, and mouth down there too. It's a multifaceted, complex style of art. There's a lot of portraits and profile images on this oddly shaped stone, and we've seen this stone before. Just made a video about this type. I believe that these were carried around for long periods of time. This is the woman with the long hair, that style where you can pull her face back. You can even see the eye in there. Do you see how defined that is? So you can, that's all of her hair, and you pull her back in and you can see the face popping back out at you. There's styles to this. They're not just random. There's a way to do them, and I've picked up on that. That's how it goes when you let one person excavate an entire burial site, an entire holy area. There's still stone mounds in this area that we need to investigate that could possibly be burials. As I've said, I'm not an archaeologist yet, but looking into what it takes to become one, it ain't much. You're never going to move up the ladder unless you get indoctrinated and allowed to. And if you deviate from the history that has already been written, you're ridiculed and kicked out. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for friends that have reached out to me who are in the archaeological system, which will remain anonymous, of course. It's unfortunate, but just to let you professionals know, people are talking to me about this. We know. That's why we're grouping together. That's why I'm getting all the support that I am. That's why everybody is waking up. You guys got to get out of your desks. You guys have to revamp what you've been doing. I went on a bit of a rant. You can even see the lines in there for the eyebrow still. You guys see that? So that's where the eye is. You just put it together. The eye's there, the nose is there, and the mouth is down there. Flip it upside down. You got the same thing. See that little eye in there? If I can get it focused for us. You can see the little ridges and things in there. This is the same style that I've been showing you guys, right? So I'm going to try to keep it at about 30 minutes. This is the evidence that you guys are probably going to need to see in order to believe that this is real. I'm just looking for, I mean, every single one of these is one. You don't get quartz and all these other different lithic materials carved with human images on them in the natural, in natural places. I've been around, I've been outside enough to know it just doesn't happen. And so you guys just, I've got boots on the ground for you, so you can see these. I'm gonna go back and try to pick up a couple more that we looked at, because some of them are very good examples. But This is what we're looking at, guys. You just see rocks? I understand. I only saw rocks at first too. But you'll start noticing these similarities. There's a lot more to go. We can go all the way up and down here. Let's find one more very defined one. And then we'll cut the video off. This is kind of an odd one. Of course it is one. You can see how the carving and everything is, but the face isn't jumping out. So here's a recessed face again. Think of thousands of years ago. I mean, headdresses, face coverings. That's what's happening here with these. These just aren't going to look